Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at the Sub and Up from TC Electronic, a cheap little octave pedal that's definitely worth checking out. So every guitar part that you just heard on that track was recorded using the Sub and Up to a greater or lesser degree, even the bass part. So let's check out what this thing can do. Here's my clean tone. And the Sub and Up with the settings that I just had it on. Now, as you can see, I've got a kind of mixture of settings here. The octave up I really haven't got on very much, but I've got a mixture of the dry signal, 1 octave lower and 2 octaves lower as well to kind of blend that in to give it a really meaty sound. Now, when I'm trying to emulate a bass, then I would usually take the high octave completely out, but leave the other 3 in, and this is how it sounds. Now, as you can see, it's got a nice tasty bass tone to it. It doesn't sound exactly like a bass, but in a mix you can get away with it. So let's have a look at what each one of these does. If I take the dry out completely and just pop up the the octave below. Okay, you can hear that that's quite muddy, which is why I blend in a little bit of the dry signal to give it the front end of the note for when I'm trying to emulate bass tones. Now, this is the pedal that I've been using over the past few months on every video where I have done a track. So if you've thought to yourself, oh, that bass doesn't sound great, maybe this is why. And similarly, if you've thought to yourself, that bass sounds really nice, then this is why. This is what you've been hearing. So again, let's take out the dry and let's pop in instead the 2 octaves below. So as you can hear, that's really, really throaty. And depending on the amp that you're putting it through, depends on how much of that bass you can actually hear through the amp and the speaker that you're using. So combined, those two sound like this. Okay, so that's more kind of passable as a bass tone. Bring in a little bit of dry and it'll sound even better. Now, the nice thing about this is that you've got actually an octave up that you can play with. So let's blend a little bit of that in. If you stick a chord through this, then it's going to sound almost like a church organ. Hours of fun with that, absolutely. It's not something that you'd probably use in a gig or maybe even recording, but playing on your own, it's a lot of fun. Now, this Sub and Up, I've probably had it for a couple of years now, and it's never let me down. It's got the 3 toggle switch here. At the moment, I'm on the poly setting. You've got tone print, which is TC Electronics tone print, where you can go in and actually create your own version of the octaves and what each knob does, which is fantastic. And then you've got classic. Now classic is more kind of your typical octave pedal from years ago. I pretty much never use it because the tracking on it just isn't anywhere near as good. I'll show you what I mean. Let's take off the octave up and just go for the lower ones. It's okay for single notes like that, but as soon as you try and do a chord, it becomes this mess. Okay, if you compare that to the Poly, which is their kind of updated version, so the harmonics in there are working much better together, aren't they? So I don't know why you'd really use the classic unless you just wanted to do single notes. Now the tone print, to be honest with you, I can't even remember what I put on this because I very rarely use it. Let's stick on everything and see what's on there. Okay, so as you can hear, what I've got there is not only the octaves, but there's a little bit of vibrato or something that I've got going on there as well, which definitely makes it sound like an old organ, or what was it called, like Wurlitzer or whatever. So just something for a bit of fun. So let's go back to the Poly, because that's the one that you're probably going to use the most of. Now what's great about an octave pedal is if you want to put some drive into it, so a drive pedal into it, it can take it really, really well. If I take down the octave, the second octave off pretty much, and we just go with dry and the first octave, let's stick on a blues breaker and see what the tone difference is. Again, if I compare that to the classic of doing those last couple of chords, you'll hear why nobody would ever want to use it. I mean, it could be useful at some point in a recording, I guess, but really you want to be using it on the Poly version. Let's stick even more drive into it and see how it takes it. So this is a blues breaker pushing into a clon style pedal and then into the southern up. Okay, bundles of fun, absolutely bundles of fun with that. I mean, I don't know how much you would use it in a band scenario, because you're going to be really stepping on the toes of the bassist. But for recording and for jamming by yourself, an octave pedal in general is fantastic. And this sub and up has shown itself over the past couple of years to me to be a worthwhile investment. It's not a lot of money in comparison to some of the big hitters out there, but it absolutely holds its own. Yeah, hours of fun to be had with that. So I can absolutely recommend having a go with one of these. They're pretty readily available, so you should be able to get your hands on one. Go and try one out in a music shop and annoy everybody around you. Definitely worth it. So thanks ever so much for watching, everybody. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Hi, Ashley here. Remember that I'm giving away a pedal to a lucky winner for every 1,000 subscribers.